Most of us think of Google Forms as linear in format, where everyone sees the same question in the same order. Well, you have the ability to customize your form so that not everyone sees the same questions. Rather, they are sent on different paths depending on how they answer a question. For example, you may want to provide extra help for students who don't know the answer to a question. You could set your form so students selecting the wrong answer are presented with a video to explain the concept. Students who answered correctly would not be exposed to the extra instruction. Or, if you had a survey that you were sending to parents, and one of your questions was asking if they were willing to volunteer in your class, you could send the parents who said yes to another page where they could choose from a list of volunteer options. The parents who chose no on their answer would not see the follow-up questions. It might be helpful to create a plan before you start making your form. In this case, I want to create a form where I ask parents if they want to volunteer in my class. If they say yes, I want to present them with a list of choices. If they aren't interested, then I want to skip the list of opportunities. Then I'll ask parents how they want to be contacted. If they like email, I want them to enter their email address. If they want to be called, then I'll have them enter their phone number. Then I'll have everyone answer a series of questions about the student. To create a form with branching, you must use sections. Each option that you want to be available as a choice needs to be in its own section. So in my parent survey, I will need 6 sections. A section for the volunteer question, one for the parents to choose a volunteer opportunity, a section for the contact, and a section for the email address, phone number, and one for the series of questions that I'm going to ask about the student. Sections can contain just one or many questions or media. Okay, let's create a branching form. The first step is to set up the sections you want to use. To create a section, use the icon with the 2 bars that looks like an equal sign in the toolbar. I now have 2 sections. On the first section, change the words Untitled Form to something that describes this section. The text you enter here will be displayed when you select which section to move to, so be sure to use titles that clearly identify your sections. I'll just title my first section Parent Survey. Then the next section I'll title Volunteer Opportunities. Now using the 2 bars, I'll create a new section and call it Contact Info. I'll create additional sections, one for email, one for phone, and one for student info. Now that I have created my sections, I'll go back and create the questions. For the first section, I will ask if they are interested in being a volunteer. You must format your questions as either multiple choice or drop-down questions. Branching will not work with any of the other question types. I'll just choose multiple choice and have yes and no as my 2 options. At the bottom right of the question is the 3 dots icon. Select this to bring up the options menu. You'll notice that one of the options is Go to Section based on answer. Select this and you will now have an option next to each possible answer for a destination. Selecting the triangle at the end of the line will bring up a list of sections that you have previously created. Each response can have its own destination, or it can share a destination with another question. For yes, I'll choose Go to Section 2, Volunteer Opportunities. For no, I'll choose Go to Section 3. Moving on to Section 2. I'll add a list of volunteer opportunities. I'm not using branching on this question, so I can use checkboxes to create a list of options. You'll notice that the Go to Section based on answer is not available as a choice since I'm not using a multiple choice or drop-down question. Instead, I'll choose the After Section drop-down arrow under the section to choose the next section. I'll choose the Contact Info section. For Section 3, I'll use a multiple choice question to ask how parents would like to be contacted. Again, select the option dots at the bottom. This is a branching question, so I'll set the question to Go to Section based on answer. For email, I'll use a triangle at the end of the answer line to select the email section, and for phone, I'll select the phone section. For Section 4, I'll add a short answer question for an email address, and then I'll go down to the After Section 4 section and choose Student Info. For Section 5, I'll add a short answer question for the phone number. When I select the drop-down answer in the After section, you will notice that one of the options available is Submit Form. So if this happened to be the last section in a path, you could end the survey. In this case, I want users to continue to the Student Info section, so I'll choose that option. And my last section in this survey will be several questions requesting information about the student from the parent. I hope you enjoy experimenting with all of the possibilities that you have when using branching in Google Forms.